Hey everybody, Chris here, coming to show you some more yard sale and thrift store finds. It is actually the 1st of December, so this is probably going to be the last bunch of yard sale finds. Videos will probably come out a little less frequently. This is probably going to come out till the end of December. But anyway, yeah, this is what we have. There's definitely a lot of thrift store stuff in here. I only went to 2 yard sales on Saturday, and it's started to snow Sunday, and it's snowing right now on Monday. So yeah, I guess it's the second, not the first. But yeah, let me show you what I got. Not too much, but yeah. So we'll start over here. I got a Bible, which is super weird for me. I saw that they sell well. I kind of bought this blindly. My data on my phone runs out, so I get like 2G or whatever from T-Mobile. So I couldn't even look this one up, but I was having not that great of a day, so I just took a shot in the dark. I paid $2 for it. It doesn't look like it really goes for much. It's missing the dust cover, which wouldn't even know this would have had. So I'm hoping I'll get between like 10 and $15. It'll go media mail, so it's whatever. Then I got a universal remote at Savers. I think this was like $1.99. Looks like a $10 to $12 remote, so not like a big score there. I got a Rancor from Star Wars. I'll show you him a little closer. This is like I think it's like 2007, 2008 figure somewhere in there. It's Jabba's Rancor. I think he's supposed to come with like Luke and some accessories, but it was just him. He was at Savers. I think he was like $4.99, and I used a $2 off coupon, so he wasn't even that much. Got a few calculators. I got the TI-84 with all this stuff over here. I paid $88 total for everything, I think. I ended up paying like $18 for the calculator alone. It was like a little risky. It had a little bit of battery damage, and it's covered in something. I don't know. I need to clean it up. But yeah, I mean, $18 isn't too bad. It's gonna sell between like 60 and 70. Probably have to wait a few weeks for second semester college people to buy it, since high school kids are pretty much have them at this point. And then get the Casio at Goodwill for $8 minus my 5. I think it was 5% discount. I don't think I hit the $20 to get up to 10%, but a little much for that. I had two sitting around forever. They finally sold, but they sold for like between 18 and 20, I think. And then I picked up this other little Casio for, it was marked at 6, but I think I only paid $1.50. I thought I was gonna walk out paying $9, but I don't know, it must have been the sale day. I had the right color or whatever, so I only ended up paying $4.50 or something for everything I had. But yeah, that already sold. I think it sold for like 16, 17. It would have sold for more, but when I went and put the battery cover back on, it just cracked. And I was like, okay, that's a bummer. Anyway, we got a TI 30XS multi-view. Picked this up at Savers with I think that little ant game on the bottom pile. I'll show you in a second. That's not really worth anything, but it was in a bag at Savers. It was, I think, $1.99. This consistently sells for me between like 12 and 15. It doesn't have the cover, but people don't really seem to care. I got a wired Xbox 360 controller. I think that was at Savers. I think it was $3.99. Has the ripcord, which is great, works great. Xbox 360 wired controllers are a great pickup because they work for PC, and I don't think a lot of people really moved on from it. I know, Logitech makes a ton, other companies make a ton, but Xbox 360 controllers basically become the standard for PC games that aren't well fitted for mouse and keyboard. Then I got a couple Sega Saturn accessories there because I bought a Game Boy and a Sega Saturn at a yard sale 2 weeks ago. I bought the Saturn. He said he only wanted $10 for it. She said she wanted like 50 for the Game Boy and the games. she went inside and got it. I think she was really attached to it. I think I ended up walking out of there paying $35 for everything. So that was pretty good. The Saturn already sold for $90. It had 2 controllers, so I'm gonna I have the other controller listed by itself. They used to go for more, but I think a lot of third-party companies have finally been putting out Saturn stuff, or at least Saturn compatible stuff. I've seen a lot of USB controllers that have like the adapter. Then I got a little Harry Potter puzzle at Savers. I think it was $1.99. It just seemed like it's around Christmas. A lot of people associate Harry Potter with Christmas. And it's for kids. It's only 100 pieces. I'm hoping to get between like 10 and 15 bucks. Then we got Cash Flow for Kids. I picked that up with Monopoly at Savers. I think they were both $2.99. I think I used a $2 off coupon as well. Cash Flow was incomplete. I noticed in the store because it had the pieces for regular Cash Flow and the board for regular Cash Flow. It had the boards for Cash Flow for Kids as well, but I had a parts copy, and I also had a parts copy of Cash Flow 101. That's like regular Cash Flow, but I didn't end up having enough pieces for Cash Flow 101, but I did have enough pieces of Cash Flow for Kids to complete it, which is great. That's gonna go 50 to 65. It's Cyber Monday right now. A lot of the stuff has been moving, so I'm really hoping that's gonna be one of them. Then the Monopoly, this is actually the copy I had as a kid. So this is, I think, late 80s, early 90s. I already forget the date. I want to say 92, but I don't really remember. But that's sealed. It has a little bit of damage in the corner, so I'm not going to sell it on Amazon. I'm going to sell it on eBay just to show that, because this would be like new condition on Amazon because of that, but on eBay you can sell it as new as long as you show that there's a problem. So I'm only gonna probably get like 20-25 bucks for that. I think if it was on Amazon it'd be like 40 or 50. Then I got a copy of Upwards. That's also sealed. I picked that up at a different Savers for $2.99. That's already sold for $33. So I'm glad that I don't even have to find room on the shelf for that. I have been clearing a decent amount of room. I don't think I sold too many things over the weekend. I sold 40 things as of right now. I'm sure more will come in. I'm going to film a sales video after this, so if you like to see kind of like what this stuff does end up actually selling for, subscribe. You'll see the videos as they come out. They're a little more frequent. I try and film them every Monday. But anyway, let's get back to it. I'll get to the Game Boy stuff in a second. I got Return of the King at Goodwill for $4.99 minus my 5%. Actually, it might have been marked as 5. Goodwill, they kind of change up the pricing between 99 cents and solid, solid 5. You know what I mean. That's gonna go for like 20 to 30 because it's sealed. I don't really ever pick up audiobooks because they're usually open. I know you can get a decent amount if you like lot them up, but they usually go for like $4 a piece at Savers, and I rarely see them at yard sales, so I haven't really gotten too much experience on selling audiobooks, but I'm gonna give it a go. We'll go back here. I got 5 hats at different Savers. I think 3 came from one, 2 came from the other. So I think it's fun. I got a 4 Loco hat. This 10 years ago probably would have been like a $20, $30 hat, but it's probably gonna go for like 10 or 15. Got a Salty Crew. I'm not really sure what that is. I think, but they were going for like 15, 20 bucks. I got a Green Lantern hat. It's a Six Flags hat. I don't see a lot of Green Lantern stuff, and a lot of it sells. I sold like an old Kyle Rayner? He's like the 90s Green Lantern, the one that I read when I had comics of it. But this is a slightly newer one. It didn't have any comps on eBay, but I'm pretty confident I can get 15, 20 bucks. Then I got a New with Tags Disney World hat. I don't know if this is actually an older one. I think it just might be one of those like retro looking, probably like early 2000s when trucker hats were popular. And then I got an Oakland Athletics or A's hat. I only bought this because it's like shiny. I don't really buy a lot of sports stuff. I know to look out for like the shark tooth basketball hats. It might be other sports. I'm not really sure, but I don't ever really find those. So I don't pick up a lot of sports stuff unless it's like really unique looking. So there's that. These little stack of card games. Dark is the Night. Picked this up at Savers for $2.99. I'm not sure if this is gonna do well. I think the rank was around like 800,000. I think when I looked, which is like borderline. I don't want to buy it, but if it does sell, it should be like $20. The Cartoon Network Flux. I think this is going for like 20 or 30. Got that at Savers for a couple bucks. Old copy of Flinch. I picked that up at the Casio at Goodwill. So yeah, I don't know how much this actually ended up coming to because the price was off. Another copy of Flinch. This is the one that definitely sells. That one's actually a lot cheaper. This is only going to go for maybe like 10 or 12. This is going to go for like 20. There's an older version than that one that I sold recently for like 30. So it's kind of all over the place, but hoping they sell. And then this came with the calculator. Ant Trails game. I decided to just hold on to it because it's small. I listed it, hoping to get like $5. We'll see. And then these are the only thrift store finds as far as video games. We'll go through this real quick. I had another game. I already forget what it was, but it's gone. Got Tony Hawk 3, $2.99. Just take that. Remember to take that sticker off. That'll go for like 10, 12. Got Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone for PS2. So the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube version are all worth a decent amount. The PS1 version is not. So if you see the Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, PS2, or this generation of games, pick it up. PC, it's probably not worth anything. But this will go for like 20. I picked this up for, I think I might have paid $5.99 for that. And then Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem. This will go for like 10, 12 bucks. A lot of the Scooby-Doo games hold value, especially these PS2 ones and the GameCube ones even more so. So be on the lookout for those. And yeah, let's do the Game Boy stuff. So it came with manuals, which was great. It came with like a little bag that was gross, but it works great. Screen looks good. That's all you can really wish for. Came with this little stack of games. It also had Mario Land, but that's sold. But yeah, here are the manuals. Got nice Link's Awakening, Little Mermaid, Donkey Kong Land. You'll see in a second. Pretty much, I think the only one game didn't have a manual. So we got Tetris Plus, which I didn't even know there was more than one Tetris on regular Game Boy. I thought all the other Tetrises came on Game Boy Color, but I think there's like 3, maybe even 4. So we got Tetris Plus, Kirby's Dream Land, Paperboy, Yoshi's Cookie, Donkey Kong Land, Jeopardy, Link's Awakening, which is great. I'm actually really close to beating that on Switch. Track and Field, Super Mario Land 2, I think it's the 6 or the 8 golden coins. This is the only one that didn't have a manual. The Little Mermaid, and Wave Race. So actually pretty good stack of games. Like, Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda are like the ones you want to find. Mario's have really come down, but it's not a huge deal. Like I said, Mario Land already sold. I think it sold for like 6. That's with the manual. I'm sure if I took some of these to eBay, I could get, I don't know, maybe a little more, but I usually price them like correctly with having a manual. Just sometimes they sit longer. And then, yeah, so $88. Really, this was like 70, and the calculator was 18 because I made the deal for the calculator after. But this was the only yard sale find I got on Saturday. But I only went to like 2, maybe 3. I even forget if there was a third. But I saw this on Facebook. It wasn't on Craigslist, thankfully. I was thinking about messaging them before because I saw it on Wednesday. I was thinking about asking if I could come on Friday and like pick through it. It had a PSP, but that was gone. They already sold it, and I got there right when they opened. So I'm thinking somebody else had that idea, and that they probably either weren't interested in this stuff, or just couldn't get them to budge on the price. But I got them to budge on the price pretty easily. So the Xbox 360, they had marked it 50, and then they didn't have a price on the PS2, and I asked, and they said they want 75, and I was like, maybe, and I like peeked through. We'll go through the games. You'll see that that definitely wouldn't have been worth it. But it's actually, I haven't seen this model. This is the like last Slim they made. I can't remember if the black one looks just like this. I guess it was more glossy. I've had one of the newest Slim, so they technically had two of the Slim models, like they do the PS3, but it just wasn't a drastic change. The only thing, there's like no ridge here, and the power cord just plugs right in. You don't have to have that brick, so I actually didn't even notice that when I was buying it. So I was like, you don't have the power cord, which they did. It just ended up being in a bag with these games. I was like, you don't have the power cord. These games aren't really worth very much. I was like, would you take 70 for everything? She's like, well, I'd have to ask my son. And the son already, they were moving. He seemed really over it. And he was in his like late 20s. So he was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So I probably could have offered 50, got everything. On top of that, there's a Rock Band guitar. They'll probably go for like 30 or 40. I left a steering wheel. I was like, you can keep the steering wheel. You can try to sell that if you want. It was a Logitech. I really should have actually checked if it was sealed, but it looked beat up, so it was in the box, but it's not a huge deal. So yeah, ended up getting this all for 70, which is great. I'll move these aside real quick. As you can see, it's the Modern Warfare 2 limited edition. I think it's a 250 gigabyte hard drive, which is great, but it didn't have the controller. That was another thing I kind of like pointed out. I was like, you don't have a controller for this, do you? And like the son looked, but he couldn't find it. But as I was hauling all this stuff out of the house, they actually ran out and were like, oh, we found the power adapter for the PS2. And I was like, oh, great. And she's like, $20. And I was like, ha ha ha. And she laughed too because we'd already made the deal. So she just threw it in, obviously. And because I would not have paid $20 for an adapter. And yeah, so then I got home and I noticed what the adapter looks like in the back, and I was like, how does she even have this? So they must have had another PS2 at some point, a Slim, because yeah, it was the brick adapter. So anyway, enough of that story. Here are the games. You've probably already looked them over, but I'll show you real quick what they are. It's nothing great. Oh, real quick. So I don't know how much that 360 is going to go for, especially without the controller. I'm not sure if it's like a special edition controller or not. Oh, it actually looks like it's just two black controllers. I would have thought it would have been Modern Warfare 2 branded. So actually, I have plenty of black controllers to throw in with this, so that's great. So anyway, here are the games. I've only sold 2 so far. I haven't listed this stack or this stack because they're very scratched. What's weird is almost all of those games are perfect. Only like the top 5 were scratched, and everything else there is perfect. It's so weird to find games so disgustingly scratched, and then perfect games and no middle ground. So I actually threw out like 3 already. It was like Modern Warfare 3. I probably have to throw out Modern Warfare 2, so I'm gonna have to find. I think I have another copy to pair with that. But anyway, back to the stuff. We got Halo 3. Borderlands Game of the Year, Battlefield 3, Halo Reach, Grand Theft Auto 4, Need for Speed Most Wanted, the remake or whatever, Hawks, Burnout Paradise, Dead Island, Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 2, Just Cause 2. This was the only original Xbox game in there, Mech Assault, Left 4 Dead 2, it's always great. Yeah, there's a couple Xbox One games. There was an empty case for Destiny, which isn't a big deal because Destiny 1 was worthless like 6 months after it came out. But Yeah, Modern Warfare 2. This is circle rings in this, so I really don't think it's gonna work. Bad Company, Battlefield Bad Company. Call of Duty 4, Dead Rising 2, MX vs ATV Untamed. So like some okay games there, but I haven't tested those. And these are the PS2 games. So this was, this would have been cool, Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. This usually goes for like 15, 20. But they're missing 3. I might have a copy. I'm going to have to go through all my stuff to take a look, but I'm not sure. So either way, these two are kind of scratched, so I'm not even sure if they're going to work. But we got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, Battlefield 2, Burnout Revenge, Sly Cooper 3, MLB Slugfest 2006, Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock, Harley Davidson Race to the Rally. We got Call of Duty Legacy Collections, Call of Duty 1 and 2. Actually, I have no idea if Big Red 1 is a separate game from Call of Duty 2. So I feel like the Wii and the PS2 version are labeled as that, but I don't think the Xbox one is. Let me know, because I'm not going to look it up. But these two are both pretty scratched, so... NHRA Championship Drag Racing, Midnight Club 3, ATV Off-Road Fury 2, 007 Quantum of Solace, ATV Off-Road Fury 3, SpongeBob Movie, Sly 2, ATV 4, Tiger Woods 06, Hot Wheels Stunt Rally Challenge, Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb Collection. I could have swore I listed that. I'm going to put that over there. Unless there's another copy, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. 007 Agent Under Fire and Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. So, again, nothing... Kid didn't seem like he was into RPGs, so... Those are usually what sell. We got Monster House, Simpsons Road Rage. Would have been... There was a manual for Hit and Run, which is the desirable Simpsons game. It's like usually 10 to 20 bucks. There's a manual for it, no game. There's a manual for like Kingdom Hearts, Goblet of Fire, and like 1 or 2 other games. So they must have got rid of those at some point. Tokyo Extreme Racer Drift, Intellivision Lives, Gran Turismo 4, Lord of the Rings The Third Age, Pac-Man World 3, Sly Cooper, Scooby-Doo Unmasked. That's already sold for $5. I should put that aside. Connected Ventures, Medal of Honor Warfighter, Assassin's Creed 3, Madden 10, Motion Sports, Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year, Forza 3, Need for Speed Rivals, Guitar Hero 5, that already sold for $5 as well. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Wanted, Ski-Doo Challenge, Need for Speed Pro Street, LA Noire, Crackdown 2, Baja Edge of Control, Force Unleashed, and Turning Point Fall of Liberty. So, yeah, I mean, lots of games. No real value in the game, so I'm going to get most of my money back from the systems. The PS2 will sell for like 60, 70, and actually came with a black controller, which is kind of a bummer, so it might sit. We'll see. It's around Christmas again, Cyber Monday. It could have sold while I'm doing this. And yeah, again, I'm not sure how much the Xbox 360 goes for, but like a 250 gig, is it Pro, I guess, is this model. Usually goes for over 100. So I'm hoping for more, maybe like 150. But 2 controllers, I would hope it goes for a decent amount. But yeah, that's that. So again, this is the last of the yard sale finds. It's snowing. Once that happens in New England, it's like maybe a few estate sales a weekend. I might try to hit those up a little bit more, because I just find that yard sales, I mean, it's an estate sale, so it's not as good as a regular yard sale, but I find that it's just much better to get stuff there than at thrift stores, especially lately where a lot of them are really overpricing stuff. So yeah, that's that. Feel free to like and subscribe, And again, feel free to check out my sales video if you are into what this stuff actually sells for. And yeah, everybody have a great winter, and hopefully these haul videos come a little more closely together. But yeah,